Today we're talking about the best J League midfielders, no matter what your budget is. The way that I figured this out is I took 45 different J League midfielders. I captured over 4,000 data points from SoRare data and some other great sites. I used that to make kind of 4 key metrics that I used to calculate this total score that I graded these players on. The first metric is market value. So with that, I'm looking at, how old are they? What's their kind of career trajectory? The second thing, I'm looking at podium percent. So, how frequently they're putting up a score that's really going to put your team over the top. Consistency. How often are they putting up a good score or better? So, this is going to be helpful when we're talking about the cheaper guys, trying to get up to that threshold for Global All-Stars Division 4. And also for the better guys, are they just super high variance where they're putting up either an 80 or a 20? Or is it, someone who's putting up 80, but then, their bad weeks are 45, 50? And then DNP percent. If the guys aren't playing, they're not helping your team. So we don't want that. All right. And did I mean it when I said any budget? Yes, I did. You can see my breakdown here. Essentially, I broke these guys into 4 categories. 0 to 200 being the lowest, 1,000 plus being the highest is our premier category. I will say all of this was as of March 31st when I captured the price of these players using their rolling 3-day average on SoRare data and Ethereum prices at that point in time. So obviously that's kind of spiked and gone crazy, but this is still relatively accurate. And it's still, the groupings should be pretty much the same. One other thing I want to say before I jump into this is none of this is financial advice. This is a starting point. Use this, go do your own research, and make your own informed decisions. All right, best premier budget midfielders. We only have 2 in this category. And the first one, though, is Keuru Mitoma. Make fun of me down in the comments for not knowing how to pronounce any of these names. I appreciate a good laugh. Don't laugh at his scores, though. They are the real deal. He is putting up a podium percent score 68% of the time, which is absolutely crazy. And a lot of them are, 190, 95. If you have him, you're in really good shape and you're going to win a lot of rewards. Second, we got Ayo Tanaka. Both these guys, U23, which is really cool. They're actually with teammates too, which is kind of insane. It'll be really fun to be a fan of their team right now. But Ayo Tanaka also really, really good. A little bit of a higher floor, right? His consistency is at 86%, but his podium percent is a little bit lower at 51%. Can't go wrong with either of these guys. If I had to choose, I'd probably go Mitoma, and he's actually just a bit cheaper. There is a card up on auction just under an ETH right now. Not cheap, but cheaper than Ayo by just a little bit. So these are your 2 options here. Can't go wrong with either. Getting into the high budget guys, we got Riki Harakawa. Awesome player here. I think, if you don't quite have the budget for those other 2 guys, I think he is a great value. If you're really trying to compete at the highest level, podium percent at 55%, consistency at 94%, he's helping your team week in and week out. And, about half the time he's putting up one of those scores that can really help push you over the top. So I think he's a great choice. Second here in our high budget, we got Tatsuhiro Sakamoto, U23, which I think kind of bumps his value up a little bit. His podium percent at 39% kind of scares me off. If I'm paying in this $500 to $1,000 range, I really want someone who's, close to 50%, if not above that, like Riki Harakawa is. But again, U23, he's got some, nice upward trajectory in front of him. So not a bad pickup. Probably just not the most immediate kind of return on your investment, if that's what you're looking for. So different ways to play the game. Talking strictly from like a production, though, I think Riki Harakawa is the better choice here, quite clearly. If this is bringing you guys value, hit the like button for me. All right, mid-budget midfielders. So $200 to $500 range. First off, we got Hiroshi Kiyotake. I think he's a tremendous value. Probably one of the best values that we're talking about today. Really want to pick up a copy of his myself. So yeah, I think he's just great. 46% podium percent. 46% podium percent. This price range just is super, super great with a consistency of 89%. Great option there. Second, we got Kohit Tazuka. Another great option. Probably my second favorite, kind of everybody we're going over today. This is kind of the sweet spot for me when I think about midfielders. You can get really good production without paying the premium prices. And Kohit is not as good as Hiroshi kind of scores today, but the benefit is he's 23 versus 31 on Hiroshi. So I think 2 really good options here, depending on kind of what you're looking for, more short-term focused or kind of wanting to win in the short term with a long-term focus. 2 really good options here. Next, we got Lucas Fernandez, another really good option. I don't know exactly what's going on with him though. And SoRare data, they have a little red X beside him that says expected out for a season. However, he's been playing. He played in the last game, so I'm not the expert there. But stick around because I've got something that might help you out with figuring that out coming up in just a second. Hotaru Yamaguchi, though, is my Great East Base bonus player. The reason I picked him is because of that podium percent at 41%. It's just really strong. But I think, I would probably lean towards Kohei or Hiroshi personally. But since they were already on the podium, kind of use them as my bonus player. So I picked Hotaru, who I think is a really good player and a really good option. Consistency at 95%. So a lot to be said for that. Really good pickup there. All right. So what I was referencing when I said something that could help you out is I've actually worked out a deal with SoRare Japan. That he's on Twitter. He was recently on the SoRare podcast. And he's going to help you guys out. So if you will go over to him on Twitter, you can reach out and you can ask him a question about a J League player. Just tell him that you came over from the Great East Space YouTube channel and you had a question, and he'll help you out with that. So he's a really great guy. If you haven't listened to him on the podcast, it's kind of cool to hear his backstory. But anyways, I just reached out to see if he would do something like that. It's a way that I'm able to provide you guys with a little bit of value. Anyways, just go have a chat with him. If you got a question on a J League player, he's a great guy, has a lot of great information, is much more knowledgeable about the J League than I am. I'm looking at it from a data standpoint. He actually is plugged in, living in Japan, living, breathing this stuff. So anyways, I would, give him a shout if you guys have any questions. You can find him on Twitter at SoRare Japan. All right, low budget midfielders. We've got Takuji Yonamoto. Very consistent. Podium percent 37% is pretty good. If you're staying in the low budget area, this is the guy I would focus on, I think. Next, you got Yoshiaki Komai, another decent option, 88% consistency, 31% podium. Again, if you're just trying to get that threshold, another good option. Ryo Takuchi, pretty much the same thing here. Again, consistency, hit that threshold. And Toshihiro Aoyama, not quite as consistent, a little bit more upside in his scores. He's really old. He's 35 now, though, so, in playing terms, it's a little bit older. So I expect to start seeing some more DMPs, maybe come off the bench a little bit. But if you're looking for someone, I think he's like 0.05 right now. So if you just need someone to plug in, kind of build out the depth of your squad a little bit, not a bad option there. All right, that's going to wrap it up. If you got value out of this, hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know if you could talk to SoRare Japan. Think that, the intent of that was to bring you guys value. So nothing in it for me at all. Just trying to find ways to kind of continue to provide value to you guys. I really enjoy all the engagement I've had with you guys on Twitter and the comments on Discord. So looking forward to continue to bringing you guys more great content. Let me know if I can do anything additional or what you guys would like to see. And other than that, I will talk to you guys soon.